Today, we're going to talk about something you might not expect: Porsche and video games. We're going to dive into how this legendary car brand ended up everywhere, from hyper-realistic racetracks all the way to some pretty wild dystopian futures. It's a huge deal in the world of gaming.
So, think about it for a second. When was the first time you ever drove a Porsche? I'm willing to bet that for a ton of people, the answer isn't, on some beautiful winding road. Nope. It was probably from your couch with a controller in your hands.
And that right there, that's the whole point. This idea that for so many fans, their first time behind the wheel is in a game, that's huge. It's not just a hobby anymore. Video games have become the first place, that first real connection that a whole new generation has with the Porsche brand. This is where it all starts.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the idea of your first Porsche, then hit the virtual racetracks. After that, we'll get into some really unexpected digital worlds, and then we'll wrap up by looking at where Porsche is headed next.
All right, first up, your first Porsche. And this really gets to the heart of their strategy, right? They're making fans out of people way before they can even think about getting a driver's license. That first experience is digital, it's exciting, and it's something anyone can have. It's all about building that connection, that feeling that sticks with you.
Okay, so let's move on to the place you'd most expect to see a Porsche in a game, the virtual racetrack. I'm talking about those super realistic racing sims that get every little detail just right.
And believe me, they are everywhere. We're talking the big ones: Forza, Gran Turismo, The Crew, all the way to the super serious sims like iRacing and Assetto Corsa. Porsche has a massive presence in basically every major racing game you can think of. They're not just participating, they're kind of dominating.
And it's not just about licensing their cars. These partnerships go way deeper. Take this for example, the Porsche Vision GT. This car was made with Gran Turismo, designed specifically for the game. It wasn't a real car first. That just shows you how seriously they're taking this whole virtual world.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Unexpected digital worlds. Because if you thought Porsche just stuck to racing games, you're in for a big surprise. They are popping up in some of the biggest and, frankly, wildest places in gaming.
First stop, the grimy, neon-drenched streets of Night City. Yeah, we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077. This is about as far from a clean, polished racetrack as you could possibly imagine. And the hero car in the game, it's not some crazy futuristic concept. It's a classic, a perfectly recreated 1977 Porsche 930 Turbo. It's not just there to look cool either. It's a huge part of the story. You have this vintage icon in a dark, dystopian future, and it just fits. It feels so natural, which is just brilliant. All right, from a gritty RPG to a bright, colorful hero shooter, next up is Overwatch 2. And you're probably thinking, wait, how on earth do you put a car in a game like Overwatch 2? Well, you don't. Not as a car, anyway. What they did was they took the design DNA of Porsche and used it to create these awesome-looking cosmetic skins for two of the game's biggest heroes, Diva and Farah. It's super creative, right? Turning car design into character design? Okay, let's talk about the big leagues. What happens when Porsche drops into two of the biggest online games on the planet? I'm talking about Fortnite and Rocket League. These games are absolute giants. And they went all in. In Fortnite, you can actually drive a 911 GT3 RS and a 918 Spider. In Rocket League, the legendary 911 Turbo is one of the cars you can play with. I mean, this puts the brand right in front of millions upon millions of gamers every single day. And we're not done yet. Our last stop in this wild tour is another gaming behemoth, PUBG Battlegrounds. You know, the massive battle royale game where getting around quickly is literally a matter of survival. So, of course, in PUBG, you can find Porsches to drive. And it's not just the 911. You can stumble upon a Panamera or even a Cayenne. It's a cool way to show off the whole range of what Porsche makes right inside the game. Okay, so check out this number, 75. Just the number 75. What in the world does that have to do with Porsche and gaming? Well, it was a massive deal. To celebrate their 75th anniversary, Porsche teamed up with Xbox and made 75 totally unique custom Xbox consoles. Each one was designed to look like a famous Porsche race car. This isn't just in-game stuff anymore. This is a real-world, physical mashup of these two huge brands. It really shows how deep this partnership goes. So, where do they go from here?
That brings us to our last section, driving into the future. Because Porsche isn't slowing down. If anything, they're hitting the gas, pushing into even more games and, well, even new shapes.
Just look at what's coming up. In 2026, in a huge horror game, Resident Evil Requiem, the main character is going to be driving a Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. But that's not even the wildest part. There's an upcoming game for the PS5 where Porsche's designers helped create a spaceship. A literal spaceship. Think about that journey, from the racetrack to a battle royale, and now to outer space. And that really leaves us with a fascinating final thought. For a brand like Porsche, it seems like the digital world has absolutely no limits. They've gone from just being a car in a game to being woven into the DNA of the game itself. So I'll leave you with this question. If a car brand can design a spaceship, what's next? What does it even mean to be a brand anymore? It feels like the rules are being completely rewritten, one video game at a time.